Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Dark Side of the Word. We weed out the good, the bad, the creepy, so you don't have to. Join us as we discuss our latest book club reads and content recommendations. All topics are dissected and debated from a creative's perspective. New episodes are posted every second and last Thursday of the month. Watch Dark Side of the Word on YouTube or listen to the audio-only version on iHeart, Apple, and Spotify. Hello, and welcome back to another episode. As the title has said, we are going to be discussing The Haunting of Hill House today. I'm excited as I show you my really beat up copy of the book. My library does a book sale, and this is one of like the pooled library books. But I also was, as I was sitting here talking to CJ, I was trying to peel the library stickers off.
Making trouble.
Yeah, she was like, "What's that loud noise?" And I was like, "I peeled."
And then she screamed in my ear because she ripped the book, and I thought something happened. I mean, ripping the book is sad, but I don't think it warranted screaming in my ear and making me half deaf.
You know, that should just be the poll this week. Was it warranted?
Was it warranted? I'm just going to say no. I think everybody will agree with me. No.
Well, before we get into the reason you're all here, let's drag this out as long as we can. Let's have some fun. I would like to think that you're here for us, but we all know the truth.
Who else would they be here for? We're the only two people talking here today.
They're here for the book, let's be honest.
And us talking about the book. If they wanted the book, they could just go read the book. But they're here for us and our wonderful, sparkling personalities.
Well, last episode was a huge hit with the 3 questions. What are we currently reading? What are we currently watching? And what's the current project we're working on? I'm sure we'll sprinkle in some little extra things here and there so it's not just rigid, because you know us, we can gab for hours.
Yes, we can definitely go on tangents.
We were gabbing for like 25 minutes before we even hit record?
Yeah. We had a delayed start record time.
Okay, CJ, what do you want to start with in this episode?
I will start with what I am watching right now.
Okay.
Which is, I just finished watching the 4 seasons on Netflix.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is on my list. How was it?
It was good, and I did not know that it's based on a movie from like the 70s, I guess, with Alan Alda and Carol Burnett, but now it's a series with Tina Fey and Steve Carell.
Wait, Carol Burnett's in it? I love her.
I know, I have to see it. I'm curious. After watching the series, I really want to watch the movie and see how much lines up with everything. But the series is good. I liked it. It's definitely a dramedy. So there's some comedy, like dark comedy, but it's also tackles a lot of tough topics. It's about 4 best friends who met in college, and they stayed close friends as they got older, and they found love, got married, had kids, yada, 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 and they take vacations together every year. Except this year they go on vacation, and it turns out one of the couples is going to be broken up. And of course, this just kind of shakes up everything in their group, all the relationships, all the friendships, everything. And it's a really good show. Like it looks into relationships a lot, and I feel like it can be a little uncomfortable because if you've ever watched He's Just Not That Into You or The Breakup, it kind of like calls out all those aspects of relationships that are always kind of nagging at you. So it kind of holds up a mirror to relationships, and I feel like a lot of people can find elements of themselves and their relationships in these 4 couples. So it can be a little uncomfortable because you're just like, oh, this is what my partner does, and it's annoying, and what are we going to do about it? And that's like what I do, and I feel really called out about this. But it's good, it's funny. There was definitely a twist toward the end that I did not see coming. I was completely shocked. So I recommend it. It's good, it's entertaining.
Okay, I have a chunk of time where I'm going to need to binge some TV.
Yes.
So maybe this will be the one that I binge.
Yeah. I went through, there's 8 episodes. I went through them pretty quickly. They're like a half hour each, actually, so it's pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, that'll be like nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing, so and it's like 4 seasons, like there's spring, summer, winter, fall. Or no, fall, winter.
Oh, that's cute.
So, yeah, I recommend. It's good. What are you watching right now?
I'm not currently watching anything of excitement because I am still doing the whole trying to get through Smallville and Dr. Quinn. However,
Dr. Quinn.
I know, but like I just started season 4 and I'm quite disappointed in this series right now.
And Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Yeah, it's because what made me fall in love with the series is just entirely missing from season 4 so far. And I'm a solid 4 or 5 episodes in already.
I forget what happens in season 4. Is she married yet or no?
Yes, they got married at the end of season 3.
Yeah.
So they're living together in the new house. We have the new Colleen, everything. But it's just the things that made me
interest too.
Yeah, like the things that make me love her as a character and her strong-willed personality. I just feel like she's lost so much of her independence.
Yeah.
And we've lost so much of they've become caricatures of people living in the West and more like Little House on the Prairie than hard-hitting and expanding people's minds.
Yeah.
For lack of a better terminology.
I was obsessed with Dr. Quinn for the first few seasons when I was a kid. And then right after they got married, that first season they were married, I'm like, yeah, it's not that great anymore. And I stopped watching.
So the truth comes out.
I didn't realize it was as early, like it's been a while since I watched the show. I didn't realize it was as early as season 4 that I lost interest. In my head, it was like season 8.
There's 6 seasons, so.
Oh, okay. I guess because I had more episodes back then.
Yeah, it's like 27 or 28 episodes per season. I know, right?
That's why.
So I'm gonna keep going though. I don't know. It's just I'm in now. I'm in.
Okay. Yeah, you've committed. Might as well keep going.
And the worst possible thing happened, and I just bawled after that episode. So
what happened?
Should I spoil it for everyone?
I mean, it's been 20 years.
Okay, so we're into that zone of like if you don't know now.
Yeah.
Ingrid dies. Matthews.
With the rabies. I didn't watch that episode because I was afraid it was going to make me too upset. But I heard that was an intense one.
It broke me, and I just sat here like, why was she killed off?
Yeah.
Why? Like he was so in love with her.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the point is, so I'm still making it through those. However, my partner took off some time this weekend, so we're doing a little mini staycation at home, and I am dying, even though also slightly annoyed, I'm dying to start the Murderbot show on Apple TV. I'm annoyed because it's not all out yet. So I'm going to have to just binge it in little chunks because I don't think I'm going to be able to wait until it's all out. I love that series. I think it's fantastic as a book novella. So I'm really excited to see it come to life. However, I'm a little annoyed with some of the choices that they made for the character of Murderbot. And I'm not sure if that's going to play out entirely.
I've never heard of Murderbot before.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's All Systems Red, the first one. I'm trying to remember. They're little novellas. Your husband would probably love them.
Is it robots, hence Murderbot?
Yeah, so essentially, to give just a gist of it, is that they are a second. They're supposed to be non-binary. It's a robot. Like, that makes complete, utter sense.
Yeah.
But they made it a male actor playing the robot, even though it's supposed to be non-binary. Anyway, so they are a sec unit, and essentially they are there to protect humans. And in this case, this one was hired to protect scientists on a planet that they're trying to like research and all this stuff to protect them from monsters on the planet. But this murder bot had something happen to it and was able to hack its governing module. And so technically, it doesn't take...
It's gone rogue.
It's gone rogue, but it's gone rogue, and all it wants to do is watch reality television.
See, I can deal with that kind of robot gone rogue. That is fine with me. If they just stay doing that, I'll be okay. And then as you go on, it learns to like really care about people. It's adorable, and the whole idea of it being called Murder Robot is you'll learn, and it's just So it's not like a horror type thing?
No, not at all.
Okay, because I saw the title, I'm like, I'm not watching that, and my husband's like, I don't think you should watch that. But it sounds like it's cute.
Yeah, there's probably one action-y fight scene as we figure out some past stuff. But really, it's supposed to be, I think it's a comedy and just hilarious because it's just like, why are these stupid humans doing that? Like, why won't they listen to me? And like at one point, it takes its helmet off, which it never wants to do. And they're all like, it has a face under there? And it's like, do I smile here? Do I don't? How do I, like,
that sounds good.
I don't want to look them in the eye, but like...
That's funny. We'll try watching it. Thank you for that recommendation because I was scared based on the title and like I just saw it last night and I'm like, no. But
no, that's why it's funny too. It's called Murderbot, and it's so the opposite of being a murderbot.
Got it.
But yeah, so I'm excited. So I think we're gonna start binging this weekend.
Nice.
But I just wish it was all out. Why isn't it all out? Why did they do this to us? They trained us
I know.
to binge, and now they're like, oh, well, now people are canceling their subscriptions, so now we got to release it slowly. And I'm just sitting here like, well, we're mad because you did this to us.
Yeah.
Like, this is not our fault.
You first make these, then punish them. Exactly.
So, all right. What was next? Reading? What are you reading?
Reading. So, I am reading Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall, which is like the hot new book of the year because it's on Reese's book list. I forget for what month. I think just like recently. My library had a copy on the shelves, so I grabbed it. And I am liking it so far. It has good writing. There's nothing too special about it, but you get caught up in the story. It takes place in the English countryside in like the 1950s and then the late 1960s. So it's about a husband and wife whose relationship is thrown into turmoil when her first love comes back into town. And he's newly divorced and he has a young son who reminds her of her own son who died a few years previously.
Oh.
Yeah, so she starts spending time with the guy or with the son, and then with the guy who was her first love. And her husband's like, I don't know, do you want to really keep doing this? And she's like, I can feel that this is not going to be a good idea, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway. And we begin the whole book by knowing that like somebody is dead, and it says a farmer is dead, and like her husband's a farmer and her brother-in-law is a farmer. So like one of them, it sounds like one of them bit the dust early on, and then like somebody is on trial for murder too. So it's very, it has like a lot of people comparing it to Where the Crawdads Sing, and I can see why, because there's that suspense, the romance, the coming of age, where it's set, like plays a lot of, atmosphere into the novel, but it's completely its own story. It's nothing like the story of Where the Crawdads Sing. But I like it so far. It's good. I don't think you would like it though. It's very literary fiction, but I have to say it's pretty tame so far, but I think we're ramping up soon. I think somebody's gonna die soon, so
that Where the Crawdads Sing is just one of those special sauce books that just fits perfectly, and I think this setting also plays a huge part for me because at the time that I read it, I was living in Washington. I was homesick.
Yeah, I agree. The English countryside is nice as a setting, but it's not as unique and evocative as the South, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know it was set in England.
Yeah, I didn't know either. And the woman, the protagonist is like 30 years old, but I thought she was like 60 years old because she just kind of, like she and her husband just seemed like this old, happily married couple. And I was pretty shocked when I realized they were only in their 30s. Like she just turned 30 or something in one scene.
How old's the kid?
The kid's 9, I think. Okay,
I guess that fits.
Yeah. So, back then, 60s, people got married. Like, she got married at like 19 because I don't know if she got pregnant or something, but she got married at like 19. So,
okay,
yeah. So that's what I'm reading.
Interesting.
I'm liking it so far. I'm glad I got a copy. What are you reading?
Real quick though, did you see? Oh, what's her name? Mindy, from the Mindy Project.
Mindy Kaling.
Kaling, yeah. Did you see she has a book club now?
No, I didn't.
What's it called? Oh, I don't remember the name of it, but I feel like they're trying to compete with Reese's book club a little bit.
Nice. I will read stuff from her book club. She's hilarious.
I also did watch every episode of the Mindy Project.
I tried watching one episode and I couldn't get into it. I'm very hit or miss with her. Some things I think are hilarious. Other things I'm just like, no, not for me. I don't know why.
I am currently reading right now, I actually have the book right here, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. It's a really beautiful copy, I think. I'm surprised I got this from the library, like the edges and everything. But yes, so I know I told everyone that I was done reading romance, but Ali Hazelwood is just one of those authors that I will return to. But I probably should have listened to myself because I'm just not feeling this book.
Yeah.
I'm 50 pages in because I just started it. And I'm not... I don't know, is she missing her awesome sauce, or is it just me?
How many books in is she in her career now? It's like 5 or 6. She's written a lot.
Yeah, so she had 3, or was it 4 from her STEM series, and she had all the novellas attached, and she wrote a vampire werewolf fantasy romance book that was actually really good.
Okay.
And then this one.
So what you're saying is we're due for a clunker. We're over.
And she also wrote a YA book, a YA romance book.
Wow. No, she's tired.
Yeah, true.
Man, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's time.
They can't all be winners.
It's just missing like the writing style that I love, and just like her humor. I think that's one of the reasons I really loved the STEM series. Is not only was it very science based and we had such great backstories, not everyone's a writer or publisher and some sort of thing,
right?
And then like the meet cutes were cute, and just it was very humorous as well. And I think we're missing all of that in this one. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm reading that. I'm hoping to get done with it quickly because I know I have to read our next book.
Yes.
But besides that, yeah. So,
okay. All right.
What are you working on?
So, I'm done with my staycation, so I've gotten back to revising my manuscript. So I'm trying to do a little bit every day, like we talked about. I think we talked about that last time. So I'm trying to write 30 to 60 minutes a day. But right now, I discovered that I have to reread the chapters I've written so far because a lot has changed and I have forgotten them. And I need to read what's coming up because I don't remember it. And I find myself repeating a lot of crap. And your comments have been very helpful in making me realize that I am, number one, talking in circles. And number two, I need to pick up the fucking pace.
Yeah, I sent her a clunker today of comments. And I was sat there and I was like, I'm sorry.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. This is exactly why I love you, because you are not wrong. And this is the keen insight, the keen editorial insight that I need, because I know you're right. Like everything you were pointing out, I'm just like, okay, yep. Like I know it. I can feel it when I'm writing it, but I don't know how to fix it yet. So I think that if I remind myself of what I've written and what I have, coming up, I can kind of fold some things into each other. Because I started looking at my very first chapter, and right away I noticed something that's completely incongruous to what I've written in like chapter 15 or something like that. And I'm like, well, this doesn't work. So I'm definitely not keeping the whole big picture in my head as I write, because I don't know, I feel like
this is your first plot heavy book though. Like you are juggling a lot that I don't think you've juggled in your other books yet.
Yeah. I was talking with my husband last night because I was really upset, and I was saying that I feel like this is my fourth novel. I feel like the first two novels I wrote were easy compared to this. Not that they were easy in general, but they were easy compared to this and to Huga. Like I've struggled so much revising the Huga book. I'm struggling with this one, and I think it's because I'm writing more complex stories now.
I 100% agree with that. Like you're juggling reveals, you're juggling two POVs, you're juggling all this backstory, and in a way you actually have world building a little bit. And this is the first time you've written in horror too.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones have been more of like women's fic, literary side of things. So yeah, you're really pushing yourself. But I think that you have so much here. And I don't want you to beat yourself up, and I need you to give yourself a hug and know that I love you so much. And that I'm here for you, and I know you've got it in you.
This one's gonna break me, man. This one's just gonna fucking break me. Part of me is just ready to be like, you know what? Just forget it. It's just gonna go in the drawer the way it is, and I'll just work on something else. Or I'll just not be a writer, and I'll just blog for the rest of my life.
It's so good though. Ugh. You've got it in you. Like even though it's on the comments today, I'm like, I know she's got it. She's done it before. Like she can make this amazing.
I feel like I have so many ideas for this book, which is great, but there's just too many, and I have to try and shove them all in the fucking box, which is now feeling even smaller because ancients want even smaller books now, and I'm already a verbose writer. So I gotta make an 80,000 word book, and I write 120,000 word book.
Finally, I have something to my advantage, is that I don't
write you absolutely do, and I am at a huge disadvantage, but your comments are helpful in making me realize, hey CJ, you said this 4 times already, so let's move the fuck on.
Okay, so maybe we need to have a plotting chat. Maybe we need to get on and you like take index cards and we talk about all your ideas and we lay them all out in a line.
I've started, after talking with my husband, I've started going through the chapters and making a list of 1 the scary things that happen in each chapter, because I was telling him what I'm planning for something, and I'm like, well, we're gonna have this, and then we're gonna have this, and then this, and then this, and then finally this will happen. He's like, that's taking too long. And I'm like, but I like the progression. He's like, no, it's taking too long. And I'm like, okay. So I'm making a list of what is spooky happening in each chapter, and then making a list of what characters are interacting in each chapter, because there are definitely places where I can condense a lot of things, and I think having that list is going to help me a lot.
You said that you did one to talk about the spooky element. What was the other thing you did making a list for?
What characters are in each chapter. Okay. So I see, like, you know, if I have too many, like, Liz and James just overlapping through three chapters, they could all be condensed into one.
No, I think one of the biggest things is making lists. The idea to get yourself organized when you're writing a plot-heavy book with lots of characters and you're not pantsing it, is you have to have your lists and you have to have, like, outlines, and it takes a little bit more work.
My husband was like, you know what you should do? You should make a character sheet for each of your characters and write down, like, what they respond to, what they believe, what they, you know, act like. And I'm like, he's like, do you do that? And I'm like, I should do that. A good writer does that. I don't do that, but I really should do that.
So I should be sending you my detailed character sheet?
You sent me that a couple years ago, and I promptly ignored it.
Yeah, so, like, here's a good one from a book I'm working on. So for one character, we have this sheet. Well, this is a side character. So we have 2.5 sheets of questions answered for this character, for, like, a very small character in the book. Now for a big character, let's see. Let's go for a big character. Let's 1, 2,
these are handwritten pages, though.
3. Let's see. Let's review some of the questions. Moral code, favorite memory.
That would help. That would be helpful.
The lie they believe. What motivates them.
God damn it. This is what I need.
You know, occupation in the story.
Okay, can you send me that again? Because I deleted your email from 3 years ago.
I will send that to you again.
Okay, thank you. What are you working on? Because we've talked enough about me and my failings as a writer.
It's like, I'm tired of being picked on. This is good. We're representing a pantser and a plotter.
I'm definitely more of a pantser. I try to plot. I do some plotting, but I'm more of a pantser.
This is cracking me up. So I am working on my book still, because, you know, we're in the revision part. It's gonna take a while. This isn't something where in 2 weeks I'm gonna tell you I'm done.
Yeah.
But my goal is to get through chapter 10 this week.
Nice.
I've only been writing 30 minutes a day. I cannot believe. I don't know what happened. So maybe it's reading Amy's book. Let's be fucking honest. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm finally just fucking saying fuck it to the world, and it is what it is. Yeah. Or maybe it's the very idea that I have, you know, I've read such bad books now that have been published, and the quality coming out. Because back when I started writing, you know, we had the amazing B.E. Schwab books, we had the Lee Bardugo, like, we had this high quality that I thought I would never reach, and now the quality has really sunk down. And so it makes me wonder, like, okay, well, I'm not as worried.
It's like I could fart this out and it would still be better than some of the crap that's out there.
So, I don't know, but for this 30 minutes, I put on fucking ambient noise. I don't know why. I'm not an ambient noise person. But it's like tropical rainforest. We got the frogs and all the insects and the water.
Very specific. Okay.
I set a 30-minute timer on it. And I am so locked in.
Whatever works, man. Frogs get you going. Go with it. It's awesome.
But yeah, I have been cranking through it, and I've only been doing 30 minutes a day. Like, I am blown away.
It's awesome.
I feel real like I can get this done quickly. Now, granted, I will have to go slower a little bit in the future because I do have some new chapters to add in. For CJ's recommendations here. See, she helps me. She helps me with the emotional human connection. And I've made the changes that I said I was going to make about, you know, certain certain facets of the book that worried
Okay.
me.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm falling in love with it. I'm excited. I would really like to finish this book before the end of the year so that I can start the process of getting it published. Like, I'm
Yeah.
100% self-publishing this.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's going great. And then with the rest of my time, I've been reading CJ's chapters.
Yeah.
I've been doing my freelance work, and I have been working on more of my like painting and drawing side of my artistic self. Crocheting a lot.
Crocheting's always nice.
Crocheting has become this amazing stim for me. Like when I'm anxious or feeling overwhelmed,
Yeah.
I just throw on like Dr. Quinn. We're going back to that. And I just pick up my crocheting, and then like 20 minutes, I'm feeling so much better.
You just turn into a 90-year-old grandma and you're doing just fine. I love it.
Yeah. And like I've been looking at like printing my own fabric now because I've come up with a couple of really cool designs that I like.
I love that.
And yeah, I finally have a working sewing machine. So a lot of the side time has been spent on October Roads and the clothing side of things and like trying to build that business. So I haven't been complaining about the 30 minutes of writing only because it's opened up more time for me to do other things.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it's all about. It's about balance and getting stuff done, but still feeling like you can have it be manageable in your life.
Exactly. And like I'm not a one-trick pony, sadly. Like you blog and cook, like you're baking and these book
We're
inspired
very tired
recipes and write.
individuals. It's such a burden to be so blessed with so many gifts.
And I'm not like working like a normal job right now, but like PTing my dog is just consuming my life.
That is a job in and of itself.
I feel like all my life is like, did I PT him yet? But he walked by himself today, like took 3 whole steps without me holding on to him. I'm so proud.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I haven't babied him as much, and I think it's pissing him off, and he's just like, fine, I'll do it myself. But I also saw like pure joy in his face when you could see that he was able to do what he wanted to do and have pure autonomy over his own choice for a second.
I love that.
So, yeah,
Yay,
we're making it.
That's awesome.
All right, we gabbed enough. I think we wasted
did.
enough time, which I'm not mad about because this book is only 200 and something pages.
Yeah,
so
it's not going to be a long book club discussion part of the podcast, probably.
But before we get into all of this, just a quick word. We want to take a second to go over a few things about our episodes. 1. Dark Side of the Word is hosted by Kait and CJ, 2 writers and creatives who can't get enough books, shows, movies, or podcasts about all things dark and creepy. 2, we're generally a book club podcast, meaning that we will be discussing the book in the episode title. There will be detailed spoilers, so if you haven't read the book yet, you might want to click away and check out our other episodes. 3, we love exploring stories with haunted houses, dark academics gone rogue, serial killer thrillers, reimagined monsters and myths, and so much more. 4, this also means that we're going to be discussing mature and sometimes triggering content, whatever the themes are featured in the book. If you're underage and you don't think that your parents are going to like you reading the book, then they're probably not going to like you listening to this podcast. Otherwise, thank you again for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a book, and use the comment section to continue the conversation or share your thoughts. We are back. It is time to discuss The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I was just going to blurt that out, and I was...
You weren't sure if that was actually the name?
Exactly, so it worried me for just a hot minute. Anyway, Shirley Jackson. The book that I think if you haven't been living under a rock, you should have heard something about. Because if you haven't heard about the book, you at least heard the TV show. And I'm sad to say that I have watched the TV show multiple times and have yet to pick up the book until we did it for this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I read the book. Mm-hmm. Before we get into our ratings, I do have to just quickly say I found it quite interesting and fun to read one of the initial horror writers of the time, classic. And the fact that it's a woman. Like, you have a female horror writer.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I love it. And so I really appreciate seeing some of the first time uses of like, being spooky and scary coming through in this book. So keep that in mind when you've read it, listeners. Keep that in mind. And if you haven't read it yet, don't forget to use our bookshop.org links to get a copy. There are so many different editions out there. It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy how many different editions.
Yes. Per usual, in the scope of us talking about book club books, what did you rate it?
I rated The Haunting of Hill House 3 stars.
Okay. I gave it like 3.75. Like,
yeah.
Like, higher
I can do that
end.
too.
I will say that the beginning of the book was superb for me. I was obsessed.
Yeah.
I really liked it. There was something about the writing style and the quality of the writing that sucked me in.
Yeah.
I appreciated more of the literary quality of it and the suspense of like what could possibly happen. I knew going in that the book was going to be very different than the show. Like that it was loosely based on it. I can see where Mike Flanagan made the connections from the show to the book, and I found that to be quite interesting, like what he took and used. I don't know if you know, because you've seen the show, right, CJ?
I did see the show just once, but I couldn't find, I don't remember the show all that well, but I feel like I couldn't find any real connection between the two.
So we have I believe it was the companion died of a hanging or falling off something when she took over the house. And if we remember correctly, the daughter died that way. She fell and essentially was hung. The pounding and noise down the hallway, there was a reference to that in the show about like some sort of specter crawling the hallways. And then we had the moment with, it was Theodora and Nell. Was Nell the second?
Theo, yeah.
So Nell had the moment when she was reaching out thinking she was holding Theodora's hand, and it turned out that she wasn't. That
was so creepy. That was so good.
I will be haunted by that scene in Hill House for the rest of my fucking life.
I don't remember that scene in Hill House, but I remember in the book, I loved that scene. That was so good.
No, that was one of the two moments that broke me when watching the show. Was because in the show, one of the daughters is like laying in bed. She hears her door open. She thinks her sister's climbing into bed with her. Her sister wraps her arm around her and she like grabs her. Like, it's okay. Did you have a nightmare? Blah, blah, blah. And then she turns over to go comfort her sister and there's no one there.
That's so creepy. It's so creepy.
So, yes, that is definitely... And, the show also had the mausoleum room.
Okay.
As well. So, in my mind, when I was picturing this whole thing going down, I felt that the show was kind of like the idea of this family coming in way after all this happens in the book. And finally, like, no one really takes over the house and they finally sell it. And so they buy it to restore it.
Okay, yeah.
And then the family's going through all that stuff of what's happening. So that's kind of how I played it out in my head.
Okay. I had a slightly different image in my head because, I'm dating myself here, I remember the 1999 movie The Haunting with Liam Neeson and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and apparently that is based on this book, which I did not know until I started reading this book. So I'm like, this sounds awfully familiar, like all of this stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this needs to be added to my Halloween movies.
It's not good. It's not a good movie.
Oh, no.
The beginning is really good and spooky, but then like it deviates. I didn't know this until I read the book. It deviates from the book and goes into some wackadoo reason why Nell is drawn to the house. And I remember hating that in the movie. And it just, I didn't like it in the movie. And it kind of just takes a downward turn. But, you can add it. Just don't expect a lot. But a lot of the beginning of the movie is very similar to the beginning of the book. They kept a lot of things parallel there with the setup.
I didn't really like the end of the book. And I was lost in the surrealist aspects of the story. Yeah. And why Nell was like, did she kill her mom?
I didn't think so. I know she killed herself at the end of the book.
Yeah, but she constantly references about like, I didn't hear her, and I felt like I was slept through it all.
That's
and
right.
Was it so intentional? That's
a good question.
Was she living with her sister? Is that why like she was drawn to the house because this is her chance to escape and be...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that surreal aspect Was she possessed at the end? Is that also what could have possibly been the reason that...
I feel like she was possessed. Like the house had like wormed its way into her and possessed her, and like that's what was making her act weirdly toward Theo because they were like that whole Nell and Theo relationship was the dynamic was very interesting. First they're best friends out of nowhere, and then they're cat fighting about a guy, which I don't think Theo even really likes. I got some very sapphic vibes off of Theo. And I know in The Haunting she's portrayed as that as well. But so I think like the guy, the fighting over the guy was just kind of there to be, I don't know, just some kind of plot device, but it wasn't really realistic. And then I think that Nell kept being so like hot and cold with Theo because the house was starting to possess her and make her be crazy. Because in possession, you start to be very hot and cold and bipolar-esque. So, and then by the time she like drives her car into the wall or whatever it is, that part kind of freaked me out. That was pretty intense. I didn't expect that to happen.
I didn't in the sense that they had the rider, like the doctor was referencing a story about someone who left in the middle of the night and his horse threw him or something weird happened on his horse and he died. And so I was thinking, well, if she is consumed by the house or in whatever way, I actually expected her to like kill herself or drive off at the curve. But it also made me think, was like Nell the only person alive in that house the whole time and everyone else was just a figment of her imagination or a ghost existing in the house and she was interacting with them the whole time and so it was her turn to join them? Because they were all staying.
That is really interesting. I did not think of that. Oh. Dude. But why? Okay, if that's true though, why would she conjure up a character like the doctor's wife? Because that woman was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What's her name? Mrs. Montague, Dr. Montague's wife.
Because maybe it's not that she conjured up... Okay, maybe it's less like imagination. It's not that she conjured them up, but they were already the ghosts there and they were living through the experience of the times that they were ghost hunting there. And, like, maybe that's why Mrs. Dudley was always so precise, as even Mrs. Dudley was a ghost in a way, because she was so precise in the routine of this is what happens.
That's interesting. I like that angle, actually. Because I know there's a lot of talk about, you know, I was reading the version of the book that I had an introduction by somebody, I forget who, Laura somebody, but it talked about the psychological aspects of Nell, how we're kind of told that she's a whole character of her. She's not just a character in a horror story. She's her own character who has like this arc and stuff like that. And one of the things they talked about was her mental stability as a character.
Mrs. Dudley?
No, Nell.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely could have been a little off of her meds when she got there, and yeah, it all could have been in her head. That's crazy. I kind of love that though. That'd be amazing. I love that idea. I want you to make that story.
I know, it's just very interesting how at the beginning he's like, are you sure you're supposed to be there? And the fact that she's like the first one there and she never sees anyone really arrive. They just kind of appear out of nowhere. And I don't know, it's just weird. I just kept getting weird vibes and I was trying to understand the surreal aspect of everything going on. And she as a character was weird. She was already presenting kind of that manic confusion at the beginning, especially when she kept saying the same line of like journeys end with lovers meeting, I think is something like
what does that mean in there? I looked it up and I still couldn't figure out why this is important.
I don't know. Except that she kept thinking that she and the guy were gonna fall in love.
Yeah, I don't know. That was something I just didn't get. I'm like, why does she keep saying this over and over again?
I thought the whole thing was weird. Like I said, the surreal aspect of the story was something I did not handle well. Because even in the conversations in the groups that they were all having, like at the beginning, they were like, let's make up fake things about who we really are. And I was just trying to figure out how that played into all of it.
Yeah.
And then I was wondering if that led even more to Nell having a psychotic break in the sense, because here she was, like, I think that her life was not good. She was not being successful on her own, which is why she probably also made accepted the summons. And so she was like, oh, I'm going to be this fake version and go through this identity crisis of myself.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that almost better than, hey, this house is haunted and she's possessed. And I usually don't like that kind of thing. I want the ghost, but I just love that idea that this involved story is all in her head, because that would be bonkers.
It's just interesting too, like all the stuff they saw and then everything was fine with Theo's clothes having all the blood on them and then suddenly them not having any of that anymore.
Yeah.
So perfectly, and the fact that her name appeared everywhere but no one else's did.
Yeah.
It was
And
just
no one else seemed
weird.
to be as affected as she was by everything going on in the house.
Yeah, they saw the like obvious things, but they didn't hear the crying, they didn't hear the voices.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a weird book.
I feel it's really interesting reading it now in 2025. Like, I try to think back to when it was published in 1959. This was such a groundbreaking type of novel to have a house that is its own entity, is capable of possessing you to the point where it can force you to kill yourself. And then you have like the sapphic overtones with Theo there too. Like, that's also kind of controversial for 1959. Like, I can see why this book was so popular. If it were
Also,
published now, people would be like, whatever. But back then, that
and the
that was a
two
lot.
women like coming to a house
Yeah,
unescorted and all that. Like I was scandalous. Like, oh my god, this is the 60s or 50s and this is they just
yeah,
show up and not knowing the person.
yeah. That was a little irresponsible, you know. I mean, they address it, but still, it's just funny to see how what waves this would have made back then. You know, compared to now, where we're just so oversaturated with so much horror that it isn't scary. It's interesting, but it isn't like outright scary to me. You know.
Yeah, and I can see a lot of places where I do think that this book influenced some of the horror genre that
Yes.
we have today. And so I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. Because a lot of times I think people struggle with these books forgetting where they came from and their origin. And
Yeah.
so they'll read them and then go, oh, well, I've already seen this before a million times. Or, oh, this has already been played out. And it's like, well, this
Yeah.
is the first of the first. You got to keep that in mind. We're not,
Yeah.
like, this
Exactly.
influenced so much. I mean, read Dracula. Like, the very first vampire-esque style story.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can seem a little plain in today's age with all the variations we've seen of vampire stories now. But when you think about like his imagination, when he didn't have a lot to come from, and he was able
Yeah.
to pull all that himself and create this creature all himself, like it's very interesting to me.
I feel like talking about how it's influenced so much, I feel like The Haunting of Hill House is one of the first cozy horror type books. That's all I kept thinking about, because even though there's all these creepy and unsettling events, there's so many cozy aspects in it. Like, even Eleanor says, she's like, oh, we have this good food from the housekeeper and this cozy fire and this nice company, and
They played
it's
chess
just
every night.
yeah, like, it's super cozy. And I feel like I love the author Wendy Webb. I've mentioned her before. She's like the gothic horror queen of the North or something. And she wrote The Vanishing, The Stroke of Winter, which I love, The End of Temperance Dare. And she is a queen of cozy horror. And after reading A Haunting of Hill House, I can see where she's getting so much of her inspiration, because it is from like The Vanishing is so much like Haunting of Hill House, with the housekeeper who brings you all these delicious meals, and it's creepy, but the fireplace is going. So we'll just take a nap anyway, even if the ghosts decide to creep up on us. You know, I loved it. I love that. Cozy horror is definitely my genre.
Or none of the doors will stay open because the house demands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was interesting to see that. And I thought the story was also surprisingly funny in parts. Like, I was laughing out loud at a few things. I didn't expect there to be humor in it, I guess. And it kind of reminded me of T. Kingfisher with her Sworn Soldier series, how it's all serious and spooky, but then there's this element of humor that goes through it, like dry humor.
Actually, now that you say that, I do feel like I wonder if okay, no, I
Note.
wonder if Soldier, I cannot say that, Sworn Soldiers
Soldier.
was slightly influenced by this book,
Yeah.
because you have the idea of the old timiness, the characters going on these adventures, figuring things out, all that
Yeah.
stuff. I see a little influence there, maybe.
Yeah. I know the first book is based on The Fall of the House of Usher, which I actually still have not yet read.
Same.
The Fall of the House of Usher, so I'm sure obviously that was an influence, but I definitely feel like The Haunting of Hill House was another influence for her, with that subtle gothic horror.
Yeah, and the team coming together to figure out this mystery
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what's going on, and the settings and the coziness. There's a little bit of cozy in the Sworn Soldier series.
Yeah, there definitely is, definitely.
I
We're
cannot
just missing like an
wait.
animal friend in Haunting of Hill House, and it would have been a Teen Kingfisher novel.
I can't wait for the third book later at the end of this year.
I
I'm
know,
so
me
excited.
too.
I'm so excited. But yeah, no, I'm glad we read it. I think it's really great that on the podcast we're trying to throw in some of the older books
Yeah.
into the series as well, because I just think that we need to pay homage and a nod to
Yeah.
the people that started it. I actually saw this really funny video. Sanderson was explaining, like, he calls Tolkien the grandfather his
Mm-hmm.
grandfather in a sense, and he was talking about like the generations of fantasy writers and how like Tolkien's the
Yeah.
grandfather, and then like Sanderson, he's like, or no, it was like Robert Heinlein's the father, and then Sanderson's like the son, and now there's probably a fourth generation, the grandson or whatever. And I do feel that when we come to the Shirley Jacksons of the world and all this levels,
Yeah.
like she's probably the grandmother of horror, or at least
Yeah.
the mom of horror, probably grandmother. And then the 80s, 90s are the done, and now you have us, and
Yeah.
we're starting another generation. So it's just kind of fun to go back to these like grandmothers who didn't have things. They had to solely come from their imagination, so
Yeah.
much more than we do now. I think we have so much to fill us from a creative point of view, from all the books we read, the TV shows we watch, all the things going on. And so it's very easy for us to pull things and pick things and piece things together, and we have this
Yeah.
well. And I'm still so amazed at these people
Yeah.
that just came up with these things all on their own, just
So I
out of
would
nowhere.
like to point out that I feel, again, Mrs. Montague, Dr. Montague's wife, is basically Lady Catherine de Bourgh. I so got Lady Catherine de Bourgh vibes from her, and her assistant that came with her, like the friend, is Mr. Collins. That is her Mr. Collins. I full on believe that Shirley Jackson was influenced by Pride and Prejudice.
That is hilarious.
There's got to be a dissertation out there somewhere about this because I cannot be the only one making this connection.
She was definitely not congruous to the rest of the story.
Like, what is she? Is she just pure comic relief? Like, what does she bring otherwise? And the fact that the doctor was still concerned about his wife's safety, even when he wants to sleep alone, is just a testament to what a decent fellow he is. Because I've been like, you know what, woman, just let the spirits get you because you are a pain in the ass.
Well, I was confused in reading the book because, like, the doctor is specifically there to record and document all this ghost activity and what's going on. And we get to this point where he's drawing the chalk on the floor to see if the cold area grows and just all
yeah.
this, whatever. And honestly, what kind of ghost hunting is he actually doing in the house? It feels like they all just play around, and he tells them stories about the house. They all just play and flirt and do all this stuff, and it's just like, where's the actual ghost hunting? And then his wife shows up, and she's playing the ghost hunter finally.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. In the Haunting movie, Liam Neeson plays the doctor, and they have him doing like a sleep study, like the effect of knowing scary stories, like how it will affect you and how your surroundings will affect your sleep and things like that. So that it kind of they build up that aspect a little bit more because in the book it is very vague. Like you're right. Like what is he really doing that's scientific?
Why was he drawn to this house entirely? I feel like at one point there was a reference made that this is his make or break moment. Like either he finds something here and he keeps going on, or if he doesn't find anything, he's done. Like there's just so much built up anticipation. I think that's why I love the first part of this book, is that there was so much anticipation, and I knew it was going to be a spooky book, so I wanted to see where the spooky was going and would I get scared and just all this stuff, and then like the ending doesn't pay off. And I think that's where it really dipped for me, is I wanted more.
It did get a little trippy after a while, and I was just like, okay, I'm not really sure what's a hallucination, what's real. And yeah, and then at the end, I was just like, okay, the end I did not see coming, like I said. I love the very end where she just drives into the thing. I'm like, holy shit, the house made her kill herself. But yeah.
Which then made me think back to the show of like, oh, the people who die stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do make a reference in the book about one of the rooms being like the heart of the house, the center of the house. And I was like, there we go, to the heart of the house, which was one of my favorite parts about the show, is when that got revealed. I was like, oh my God. Like,
I have to watch that again because it was good. I just, there was too much emotional family drama in there for me. I wanted more spookiness, I guess.
You're like my partner. He loved the first part of it, and then he's like, "Then it just turned stupid."
Yes,
and
yes.
like,
I
don't
agree
want
completely.
the drama. I want the spookiness. And I'm like, but no, I'm here for it all. I love it all.
I want the spookiness. The only one that I liked was, I think, Theo's. No, was it Theo's? The guy, the one who's in the drug rehab.
Oh yeah.
And then he brings that girl home in the show, and I just wanted them to just live a happy life together. Like, why can't they just continue and never go back to their rehab center and just live this life with family dinners? This is wonderful. And then it all went to shit. I'm like, no.
Because they are like Elle or Nell or whatever, and they have been consumed by the house. Once you enter the house, you cannot leave. That is the point. That is the point of the story, is that once you enter the house, you cannot leave. And I'm assuming that if the story had been extended past the car accident, that no one who had entered that house would be leaving.
Yeah, unless they're all figments of her imagination,
They still wouldn't be leaving the house, because she's not leaving the house.
It's true. Yep, she's dead, so no one's leaving the house on her mind.
I mean, is the house even real, or is this just kind of like a purgatory?
Maybe she killed herself after her mother died.
Yeah, or maybe she killed herself on the way there, and it wasn't like she was actually heading anywhere specific. She was running away.
Her sister's car that she stole from her.
Yeah. Her sister sounded like a bitch, though.
Yeah, seriously. That was just uncool.
And then maybe Theo was the version of herself that she wished she was.
I could see that, definitely. The exciting, happy, sociable girl.
Beautiful, has this independent life without the responsibility that, she had all this time with her mom, which is just a sad story to begin with. Like, the idea of her taking care of her mom and just all of that. That's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was why I was thinking Theo was gay. I feel like the girl that she lived with, her roommate, was like a partner, because it seemed like they had like a domestic squabble or something.
Yeah, they said they got into a fight before she came.
Yeah, and I felt like
we don't even answer that.
Yeah, I feel like it was a romantic entanglement, and then she left or whatever, and then was kind of trying to rebound a little flirtiness with Nell, who was just like, oh my God, what is happening,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad we read it. I like reading the classics. It's fun. I get some ideas. I like seeing how things originated. And
and it was still different and unique enough for it to be an enjoyable thing where I didn't know what to expect. Yeah. And like I said, I really feel that the show is more of just like a timeline of an existence of the house, and so it makes it more fun for me is that I read this as like a prequel to what happens in the show, and just to see Mike Flanagan's imagination with like him being able to read this book and then what he created. I actually have give him more credit, because he did a lot of really cool connections and things. And I just know why he was shitty with his other ones, Now I want to read Bly Manor.
I've read so many versions of, because it's like a Turn of the Screw, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Turn of the Screw.
Well,
and I feel like I watched. So I've kind of read that book. I've watched a lot of versions of it on screen.
I don't think I've read Turn of the Screw or seen anything.
Just like, yeah. I don't know. I'm not into it. I tried Blythe Manor. I got most of the way through it, and then I think the penultimate episode, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, it was
there wasn't enough spookiness for me.
Yeah, and it was way more emotional.
And there were spiders a lot in there, and I did not like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
I liked Midnight Club.
I loved Midnight Club.
I was really hoping there'd be more than one season of it.
I loved Midnight Club. And I liked, what was it? The one with the church?
Oh, I did not
Midnight
like
Mass.
That one. I did not like that one. That annoyed the crap out of me.
Is he doing another one or no?
He is doing, I believe, a Stephen King movie on Prime now. He switched from Netflix. He's over in the Amazon family. But it does look really good. I'll have to see if I can remember it and send you the trailer or something.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious.
But I think it comes out in Halloween too, like around in October.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Now I really want to read Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights, I love it.
I've read it. I read it so long ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember much.
I can't imagine you getting through that again. I'm surprised you got through it the first time.
Really?
It's so literary.
Yeah, but it's a classic. I mean, I love me some Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice for
That's
sure.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Alrighty then. I think did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No. Though I think I'm going to bring my rating up to 3.5.
Hey, we are agreeing on another book.
We are. I'm shocked.
And then I forgot. Sorry, listeners. I forgot to grab. Nope, that's not the right book. I'm coming.
Okay. Should I sing something to keep us occupied?
I forgot to pre-grab the book that we're reading next.
Gotcha.
And it was on my stack. So, at least it's within arm's reach. But, I'm keeping my rating the same.
Okay.
I was distracted.
So 3.75?
Yeah.
Ish,
yeah. 3.5. It just depends on the day. What's a quarter of a star? I'm not going to bicker over that.
Yeah.
Like
I rate 1 point of a star.
Ah! Hold on. Okay. We're a mess today.
We're hot mess, hot mess, hot mess podcast.
We I do both Goodreads and Storygraph. So and Storygraph has quarter ratings.
Okay.
Which I appreciate. But yeah. Hey, we didn't ask the most important question.
What?
Was it horror?
Yes, I think it was horror.
I 100% agree. I think it was horror.
Definitely horror. Yay, horror! Another horror book. Thank God.
Well, hopefully our next book, Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker, is horror. And I'll get it.
Yes, I love that cover. It's so creepy but so artistic at the same time.
The ring light always fucks me up when I'm trying to show covers.
I love it.
I am excited. I think you recommended this one, actually.
Yeah. I can't remember who recommended what at any point now.
I do feel it's funny. I feel like you can tell who recommended what based on how thick the book is. When it's a thin book like this, it means it's you recommended it.
I don't even pick them because of that. I have no idea what the page counts are. It just happens that way.
It's just how you pick them.
Yep.
But I'm really excited. It was, when I was buying it, the checkout lady was like, "Oh, this book's so good." I was like, "Yay, I'm excited." Yeah.
Okay,
so we will be reading this next. And make sure that if you don't have your copy yet, to use our bookshop.org link below. You can choose an independent bookstore to help support by using the link as well. And then it also gives a small percentage back to us, just so that we can continue putting out great content for all of you. Trying to save up for those mics so we can sound better for all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, friends, for watching our video again. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And don't forget, we are audio only on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. So make sure to check us out there. Check out our Spotify polls as well. And just to know that every time you rate and review, that helps us reach out bigger so that other audiences like you can find us and enjoy reading along as well. Bye, friends.
Bye.